Number 10, 11, and 12, factoring a quadratic with a leading coefficient greater than 1. Quadratic expression just means it has that squared term. It's a second degree polynomial. And when we have a trinomial, one with 3 terms, usually it came from FOILing something out. So when I look at that, I say, oh, it has 3 terms, it's got that squared, so I probably can guess, oh, it came from FOILing. Now these ones I do differently, so if you want Linda's note sheets, you can go under the resources to A14 and print out the Word document that have the steps that I'm going to do the problem in. The LX problem, or the LX program does it a little differently than I do it. So here's what I do. I start by factoring my first term. 10z squared could either be 1z times 10z or 5z times 2z. I really don't know which pair it is. I'm just going to do guessing and checking. And if one pair doesn't work, I'm going to try the other pair. Sometimes I'll even write down the 2 sets of parentheses and do both of them. So I'm going to try the 5z and the 2z. That doesn't work. I've got to change it to the 1 and the 10 and try that. The next thing I do is figure out my signs. If my n sign is positive, both signs have to be the same as the middle. So they either have to be both pluses or both minuses. I look at my middle sign. Whatever the middle sign is, that's the sign I'm going to use. So in this case, since the end is positive, both signs are the same as the middle, a plus and a plus. If the end is negative, we've got 1 plus and 1 minus, because a positive times a negative is going to give me that negative on the end. Then I factor my n number. 18, 1 and 18, 2 and 9, 3 and 6. Those are all the factors of 18. I have to find a pair that when I do the outside product plus the inside product, it adds up to the 49 in the middle. Again, I really don't know which way to go. I'm just going to start from the bottom and work my way up. So I'm going to put the 3 and the 6 in and test it out. This is going to give me 30 plus 6. My outside product is 30z. My inside product is 6z. Well, 30 plus 6 is not 49. So then what I'm going to do is just switch them around. I'm going to put my 6 and then my 3. That's going to give me 15 plus 12. Well, again, if I do 15 plus 12, I'm not going to get 49. So then I go to the 2 and the 9. 2 and 9. That's going to give me 45 plus 4, and sure enough, 45 plus 4 gives me 49. So this is the pair of factors that I want. If I really wanted to double check, I would go ahead and FOIL that out. 5z times 2z is 10z squared. 5z times 9 is 45z. 2 times 2z is 4z. 2 times 9 is 18. My 45z plus my 4z adds up to the 49z. Almost can read that. Adds up to the 49z in the middle. So I know, yep, if I FOIL that out, I get what I started with. I've got my right pair of factors. So number 11, again, it tells me to factor. I've got a quadratic trinomial. It has the squared term and it has 3 terms. So good clue that it came from FOILing. Factoring my 12x squared. Could be 1x times 12x, or it could be 2x times 6x, or it could be 3x times 4x. So this one has a whole lot of choices. Again, I have no idea which pair it is. I like to start from the bottom and work my way up, just so I have an order to follow, but it's kind of just guessing and checking. So I'm going to put the 3x and the 4x. Looking at my signs, again, the end is positive, so I know both signs have to be the same as the middle. I'm going to have a negative and a negative. Fortunately, 15 doesn't have a whole lot of factors to check. 1 and 15 or 3 and 5 are the only pairs that it might possibly be. So I'm going to start. I'm going to put in the 3 and the 5. So I'm going to get negative 15 plus negative 12. Oh, negative 15 plus negative 12 is not quite there, right? I get negative 27. So I switch them around. I was close, but not quite. I'm going to put the 5 here and the 3 here. Well, that's going to give me negative 9 and a negative 20, which is negative 29. Not going to be 28, right? So I say, okay, what about the 1 and the 15? If I do the 1 and the 15, well, 3 times 15 is going to be way too big, right? Same thing if I put the 15 here, I'd have to take 15 times 4. I'm going to get 60. That's going to be way too big. So I've determined here that I don't think the 3x and the 4x are the pair that's going to work. So now I got to try a different pair. And so I'm going to try my 2x and my 6x and start repeating the process. So if I try the 3 and the 5, that's going to give me negative 10x. That's going to give me negative 18x. And sure enough, negative 10 plus negative 18 is negative 28. So I found the pair that works, 2x minus 3 times 6x minus 5. Again, if you wanted to, you could FOIL that out and check it. Number 12 again tells me to factor. I've got a 9y squared, so it might be a 1y times a 9y or 3y times 3y. So again, I have no idea. I'm just going to try the 3y and the 3y. If that doesn't work, I have to try the 1 and the 9. This time, the end is negative. If the end is negative, you've got one positive and one negative. You don't know which place they go. You're just going to guess and check. If you get the right middle number but the wrong sign in front of it, switch your signs around. Don't move your numbers, just switch your signs. 8. 1 times 8 or 2 times 4. So I'm going to just plug them in and guess and check. If I put my 2 and my 4, that is going to give me negative 12 plus 6. Not going to be big enough because I have to add up to negative 21. It's not going to make a difference if I switch them around and try 4 and 2 since I've got 3 and 3. So I'm going to do the 1 and the 8. So negative 24 plus 3. Hey, that looks good. Negative 24y plus 3y gives me negative 21y, which is what I want in the middle. So that's going to end up being my answer. 3y plus 1 times 3y minus 8. So a matter of guessing and checking when I've got that quadratic trinomial that I need to factor out. Factor the first term, figure out your signs, factor the last term, and then basically you're just guessing and checking till you find the pair that works.